Good evening. Stefan was on assignment today. We begin with Ottawa's municipal election campaign officially underway. The race for Ottawa's top job, always the highlight. Several candidates registered today, but not the current mayor, as the nearly 6-month campaign gets underway. CTV's Natalie Van Roy starts us off.
A crowd of hopeful candidates outside the City of Ottawa Elections Office early Friday morning. Among them, veteran City Councillor Jeff Leeper, first in line to run for mayor.
This is the 4th time I've signed a nomination form in this city, and this is just as exciting as the first time.
3 candidates officially registered to run for mayor on day 1. Neil Saravanamuttu, an economist who spent years in the Department of Finance.
I care deeply about this city, and what's happening right now is not good enough. And so if people that have the ability to step up really need to right now, and that's why I felt that it's time for me to come forward.
And Alex Lawson, a home builder.
The biggest issues in the city are definitely going to be affordability, rents, transit, traffic, and crime. And I'm excited to chat with you guys a little bit later about some full policy ideas.
A spokesperson for Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said he wasn't able to register Friday, but remains fully focused on delivering results for Ottawa residents. He intends to run in the next election and will file his paperwork in due course. Voter turnout in 2022 was more than 43%. That year, Sutcliffe won the election with 51% of the vote, with 14 candidates for mayor. The election is still 178 days away, taking place on October 26, and there will be several ways for residents to have their say.
The opportunity to apply for a special mail-in ballot or proxy ballot will begin in September, and our in-person voting opportunities will begin in October.
Meanwhile, the candidates are ready to hit the ground running.
There are a number of issues that are going to be prioritized in my platform. Transit is obviously something that I have been hearing across the city now for months.
We can actually get going. We can start signing up our volunteers. We can start getting donations, and we can start pushing the city in the direction that I think Ottawa voters want.
How do we have a city hall that reduces costs for everyone? And finally, how do we put communities back in control over the local issues that they care so much about?
Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
And one of the main issues in the election campaign is likely to be community safety and crime. Today, there's a new push to boost police officers' presence in the downtown core, targeting hotspots from the Byward Market to Chinatown. And as CTV's Josh Moreno tells us, the expectation from Ottawa Police is to see a reduction in crime by the end of summer.
For Pamela on Yemenam, the Byward Market is a frequent spot to visit, at least during daylight hours.
I'm usually here during the day, but if I, lived in the area or I was here at night, I may not feel as safe.
On Yemenam feels uneasy in the market, but welcomes the news of more officers in the tourist area.
Police presence will definitely help to minimize, all the noise we hear about Byward Market downtown during the weekend and late at night.
It's part of Ottawa Police's new downtown safety plan. Beginning Friday, more officers will be on the streets in the core areas, including the Byward Market, Rideau Street, Centertown, and Chinatown.
I'm really happy to see how this all plays out, because I think it could be a template, not just for the downtown core, but where we have hotspots all over the city.
Police say the plan includes more than just enforcement, partnering with different services in the downtown core to help the vulnerable population on the streets and conducting outreach.
This is about being present and making sure that we're accomplishing some goals. And it's managing some social disorder that we're seeing in the downtown core.
A few blocks away in Chinatown, businesses say they are dealing with many of the same challenges.
Even during broad daylight, you see people using drugs on the sidewalks and dealing on some private properties.
Where crimes being reported at all hours of the day, there is hope an increased police presence leads to quicker response times.
We need small incidents like this to decrease significantly, to bring the sense of safety back to the community.
The new safety plan will run until late September. Back in the market, on Yemenam says she too hopes to see some big changes.
It would be great to feel safer at night, so increased police presence would definitely be a good idea.
Josh Moreno, CTV News.
Ottawa paramedics say a pedestrian suffered serious injuries after being struck by a vehicle in Centertown earlier this evening. Now, according to paramedics, a vehicle left the road and struck a building near the intersection of Laurier Avenue and O'Connor Street. The pedestrian, a man in his 20s who was on the sidewalk, was hit and suffered serious injuries, then transported to the Ottawa Hospital Trauma Center. 3 other patients were assessed at the scene and then released. Police blocked off Laurier both ways between Bank and Metcalfe for the investigation. Now, the roadway has since reopened. All right, we'll have our first check of what's happening weather-wise in the city, but we've got a live look now through our Centennial Glass sky cam. We're sitting at 7 degrees. Let's head over to CTV's Jackie Perez now for our first look at the forecast. Jackie.
Well, as we look towards tomorrow, we are anticipating some scattered showers rolling in, probably in the afternoon. But by the time 5 p.m. rolls around, mainly cloudy skies. We are anticipating below seasonal temperatures, though. Cool start to the day, 3 degrees to kick things off. Only warming up to about 12 degrees. But again, we've got those westerly winds moving in that could bring some cooler air. By 8 p.m., though, partly cloudy skies is in store, and we'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast because by Sunday, yes, we could see some sunshine, but then the start of early next week could see the return of precipitation.
Residents living along the Ottawa River and Ottawa and Gatineau are being urged to remain vigilant as water levels stabilize. There is no increased water levels at Britannia and the Hull Marina today. The city of Gatineau says the river should plateau this weekend and gradually recede next week. Officials warn water levels will remain high for the next few weeks. A youth is facing charges in connection to the death of another youth at a school in Bath, Ontario. Police responded to a local school for a medical emergency on Monday, March 9th. A youth was transported to hospital and later died. Ontario Provincial Police say as a result of the investigation, a youth is charged with criminal harassment, indignity to a dead body, and indecent communication. The name of the youth will not be released. In a statement, the Limestone District School Board says, in part, student safety and well-being remain our highest priority. We take all concerns related to bullying, conflict, and safety seriously. We are committed to maintaining safe, supportive, and respectable learning environments across all schools. A 34-year-old Gatineau man is facing charges after he allegedly threatened a local mosque. Gatineau police say officers searched a home in Buckingham on Tuesday after a threat was reportedly made against a mosque in Aylmer. Police seized a .22 caliber gun, 4 air guns, and computer equipment at the home. An Ottawa motorist will be paying about $1.90 for gasoline this weekend. Now, prices jumped 8 cents a litre at stations this morning. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dad McTagg says the average price of gas could increase another penny tomorrow to nearly $1.92. Motorists admit they're feeling the pain of the higher prices.
I work pretty close to where I live, fortunately, but I drive around on site. I work in construction, so you know, those high prices, like just every day, it keeps adding up, and yeah, it's tough.
You can't do anything about it. You got to pay the price. You can shop around for deals, but you got to pay the price.
Oil prices have surged recently, with the jump being tied to stalled peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. Meantime, Air Canada has announced it's pausing its financial outlook for the rest of the year because of the unpredictable cost of jet fuel. The airline CEO says the move is not unique, stating that rising jet fuel prices have created an industry-wide challenge. Air Canada believes it can offset more than half of the extra costs in the second quarter. The federal transport minister is derailing hopes of running high-speed rail in downtown Ottawa with one stop at the Old Union Station. Last week, the heads of the Ottawa Board of Trade, Invest Ottawa, and Ottawa Tourism sent a letter to the head of Alto. It said high-speed rail deserves a stop in the heart of Ottawa and asked Alto to explore a downtown station. Now, speaking with reporters today, Transport Minister Steve McKinnon says there are many challenges to building a station at the Old Union Station.
The old train station, it became clear, posed some geo-technical challenges, not least of which is that a canal runs on top of the tracks that you would have to put in place a tunnel. And we saw on the Rideau Street cave-in when the light rail was being built that the geology of that area can be very problematic. So Ottawa has a train station. In fact, an architecturally renowned train station. That is one site that will obviously be assessed.
Councillor Stephanie Plante and other councillors have objected to tourism and business officials endorsing a high-speed rail station downtown. Meantime, rural farmers are learning a bit more about how Alto could compensate landowners if the land is expropriated for the rail line. Now, the Eastern Ontario farmer says while there is a lack of detail about possible compensation, it shouldn't be the focus of discussion right now.
We shouldn't be just talking to farmers about like how they would be impacted by this on their farm or whether they'd sell their farm. It's like, why haven't we had that discussion about where's the credibility of this project in the first place?
Alto says it would work towards a negotiated settlement with landowners that considers market value of the property, disturbance costs, and businesses and farm losses. Canada residents are calling on Premier Doug Ford to stop the residential development of the Canada Golf Club. Last September, the Supreme Court of Canada cleared the way for 1,500 homes to be built on the golf course lands. Today, the Canada Green Space Protection Coalition sent a letter to Ford asking the province to issue a ministerial zoning order to stop development. The coalition says it has many concerns, including an absence of a finalized stormwater management plan and the need to preserve the land as urban green space. Ford says last September the province would not get involved. Well, coming off a thrilling stoppage time draw in their home opener last weekend, Atletico Ottawa taking on Inter Toronto tonight in the Battle of Ontario in the Canadian Premier League.
Lopez now Aparicio. Timoteo defended by Costa. West Timoteo off the post and in.
Well, it wasn't much of a battle. Toronto up 4-0 when Atletico's Wesley Timoteo gets one back in the 84th minute. Atletico, they will stay in Toronto to face Toronto FC in the Can Champ competition on Tuesday. Their next CPL game is on Sunday, May 17th in Halifax.
Barnes in the paint. RJ the deep three. High off the heel and through.
And in the NBA, with the season on the line, Toronto Raptors hometown hero RJ Barrett pulls up with a clutch three with seconds left in overtime to force Game 7 against the Cavs in Cleveland. Now, the home team has won every game in the series so far. Tip-off for Game 7, that's set for Sunday night at 7:30.
Here's a chance in front. That's
And the Montreal Canadiens, the only Canadian team left in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, they couldn't close the door in their first-round series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Montreal drops Game 6, 1-0 in overtime. The series now moves back to Tampa for Game 7, also on Sunday.
I came as soon as I heard there was a clinic available.
Well, still to come, lining up for the Mobile at the new initiative to boost skin cancer screenings. Well, it's a sign that patio season is here. The Byward Market has announced that Byward Market Square between York Street and Clarence Street is closed daily from 10 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day to accommodate the summer patio season. Byward Market District Authority says the street closure will create a safe pedestrian environment and facilitate summer programming. Well, sections of O-Train Line 2 will be offline this weekend to allow for work on track switches. On Saturday, Line 2 trains will run between Linebank and Greenboro stations. R2 bus service will run between Linebank and Carleton stations until 12 p.m. Then on Sunday, R2 bus service will run between Carleton and Bayview stations until 11 a.m. All right, we'll take another look at what's happening weather-wise. Now, the rain stopped. We've got some milder temperatures. We could see some more showers at the beginning of next week. CTV's Jackie Perez has more now with an extended look at your forecast.
Well, getting down below seasonal temperatures for our overnights, about 2 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. And yes, those northerly winds really keeping those temperatures quite cool for this time of year. Tomorrow, a daytime high of 12 degrees is anticipated. There's a chance of showers that could be rolling in the early part of our afternoon, but this will likely be scattered, similar to what we saw today for parts of Ottawa. Now, tonight's lows across eastern Ontario, look at this, -3 in Pembroke, -5 in Bancroft, so really quite cool in the valley. Kempville sitting around 3 degrees. degrees, and Montreal around 1 degree. So partly cloudy skies for the overnight. Tomorrow's daytime highs will get back up to 11, 12 degrees, similar to what we saw today. But again, there is still that chance and possibility that we could see some scattered showers rolling in. Now, a closer look at that Sunday. Yes, I promised some sunshine, and we will likely get this starting Sunday morning and well throughout most of the day. However, we are getting more cloudy skies as the night rolls in, and this band of precipitation that is rolling in, we could likely see this into the early hours of Monday morning and possibly linger for Tuesday and Wednesday, where, yes, while daytime highs are going to be about 14 to 15 degrees, Tuesday and Wednesday, we are bookmarking this. We could see the return of heavier rainfall moving in. Early forecast indicates between 20 to 30 millimeters of rainfall.
Well, thank you, Jackie. There was a long lineup in the train yards today, but not for shopping, but for a skin check. The Mobile kicked off its cross-Canada tour in Ottawa with the goal of bringing skin cancer screenings to all 10 provinces. CTV's Peter Sperling has more.
Oh, this spot.
Yeah. Carrie Sheridan is seeing a dermatologist checking for skin cancer.
Early detection is the best. So I'm using my dermatoscope to get...
But it's not in a typical doctor's office. This is the Molemobile, providing free screenings for skin cancer.
I was here bright and early, so I was only like 16th in line.
The coast-to-coast tour with more than 130 stops launching at Ottawa's train yards Friday morning.
Lots of people here who are looking to get their spots checked to make sure they're not cancer.
The one-day clinic offering checks to the public on a first-come, first-served basis, proving to be very popular.
I am not surprised, actually, because last year we did have over 4,000 people show up when we were here in Ottawa. So that's part of the reason why we launched in Ottawa here today, because we know the need is so incredible.
With spots quickly filling up.
So why is there this need? I think we have a lack of dermatologists in this country. We need more dermatologists. Wait time is long. A lot of people even don't have family doctors, as we know. And so getting into the healthcare system is sometimes very difficult.
I came as soon as I heard there was a clinic available.
Julie Pichet came from Quebec. She's been waiting since 2019 to see a dermatologist.
I even got a letter last winter saying that they were checking their list to see if people still needed them.
I do have a family doctor who's on long-term sick leave, so I can't get a referral to get to a dermatologist to get to an appointment. So this is my option.
The Molemobile will be in Cornwall on Sunday and will return to Ottawa for 1 day on Parliament Hill in late May, then Gatineau in October. As for Sheridan,
good, all clear. Good for another 150,000 miles.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
I think we have some pretty neat innovations on our car that some teams don't have that kind of gives us a little bit of an edge.
Well, after the break, University of Ottawa students are shifting into high gear as they roll out their own race car for a competition against other schools across North America. Travelers will have more options to fly to sunny and warm destinations out of Ottawa next winter. Porter Airlines announced it will launch nonstop service from Ottawa to Aruba, Montego Bay, Jamaica, and Los Cabos, Mexico in the fall. Porter will also increase the number of flights between Ottawa and Cancun and Ottawa and Miami. Students at the University of Ottawa are revving up ahead of an upcoming car competition against universities across Canada and the U.S. The student-designed and built car would look to take the title of the 2026 Formula SAE Championships. CTV's Camille Wilson has more.
That's the sound of the beginning of competition. An open-wheeled Formula One car designed and built by students at the University of Ottawa.
It's called a Z-Bar.
Driver Farhan Rashid is back for his second year.
It feels really rewarding. Like it's something, like in your classes, you don't really get to do anything. You don't really apply what you're learning, and then this is a way you can do that.
A team of 35 students preparing for their race in Detroit, Michigan against 120 universities from across Canada and the United States for the Formula SAE.
I've spent a lot of time in school, a lot of time learning a lot of things from books, and it was really exciting for me to be able to work on something with my hands and implement all the engineering I've been doing for all these years.
Aham Alakar's first year with the team, but he's got a handle of 31 plus sensors.
We have a dash right here. This guy records data for us. We also have an engine control unit. So this guy also records data from the engine and all the critical systems, and what I was doing was pulling the logs. So all of our sensors, we actually have the most sensors we've ever had on this car.
I'm just taking that off. I'm going to put the bolt in and put it back here.
Rashid used to be on the Formula SAE team at Carleton University before switching programs and joining U Ottawa.
I joined their team because I wanted to drive the car. I just thought driving it was cool. And then when I joined the team, I just started doing the engineering stuff, and then I realized like it's actually really cool, like you're building a race car.
This is the 10-year anniversary of the school running in this competition.
Our car is very special. We're a very small team of engineering students. We don't have the resources of other schools, but we still have the technical knowledge and the skills to really excel at our competition. And I think we have some pretty neat innovations on our car that some teams don't have.
Thousands of hours spent in the shop outside of class to design, fabricate, and test.
Here we have side pods. That was a new design for this year. I designed them, and basically what they do is they direct the air that just flows over our car, directs it into our radiators, and helps optimize the cooling efficiency of our whole car.
And what drives Rashid?
Obviously, F1 would be cool. If I got the opportunity, I'd do it.
The competition taking place from May 11th to 18th. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
I just keep in mind that I have to stretch and warm up to avoid getting hurt.
Up next, doctors in Quebec say there is an epidemic of ACL or knee injuries amongst teen athletes, with hundreds of young patients getting injured every year. Orthopedic surgeons in Quebec are raising the alarm about their youngest patients. Doctors say they're treating hundreds of children and teens with knee injuries, such as a tear in their ACL, and there are a number of growing cases each year. CTV's Olivia O'Malley reports.
This is a warm-up the Westmount High girls flag football team does before games and practice to avoid injuries.
We have to warm up. If we show up late, we warm up. We always do our running. We always have to stretch.
I just keep in mind that I have to stretch and warm up to avoid getting hurt.
Doctors say the number of young athletes tearing their anterior cruciate ligament in the knee, also known as the ACL, is skyrocketing. The usually non-contact injury is often caused by sudden stops, jumping, or quick changes in direction. That's why sports like flag football, soccer, and skiing are considered high risk.
I don't want to be overly dramatic, but I do use the word epidemic.
That's more than double the number in the last 20 years.
According to the Quebec Orthopedic Association, 388 people under 18 had ACL surgery last year alone. Doctors we spoke to say patients are getting younger. They're operating on athletes as young as 7 years old.
It has to do with super specializing the kids, having them do only one sport, training them like they're little adults when they're not little adults yet.
Specialists say they often treat teammates, leaving teams down a player or two for long periods of time.
It's a year out of sport. Return to play is not guaranteed. Re-injury rates are sky high. And there are things that are so easy to do that we can do to decrease the injury rate,
Doctors are encouraging young athletes to do more strength and conditioning exercises. They say they can help prevent up to 70% of injuries.
And the goal is to have a better movement control. So we work on trunk control, hamstring strength, glute strength.
She says once or twice a week is a good start, in addition to a proper warm-up to prevent ACL tears. Olivia O'Malley, CTV News.
All right, coming up, Look Up, a new way to deliver your pizza within 30 minutes. Plus, Jackie's got one more look at your wake-up weather and your weekend forecast. Here's a live look through our Centennial glass sky camera, still sitting at 7 degrees here in the capital. Let's check in one more time with Jackie Paris for a look at your wake-up weather. Jackie.
Well, we're kicking things off quite cool, 3 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. We are warming up, however, to about 11 degrees. And yes, there is a chance of some scattered showers rolling in throughout the region. This will likely be between 12 and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, Sunday, daytime high 13 degrees, lots of sunshine in store. Take advantage, though, because we could see the return of precipitation for Monday and definitely likely for Tuesday and our Wednesday.
Well, thanks, Jackie. What once was a pie-in-the-sky idea is now a reality. Little Caesars is cooking up a new drone delivery service with the test runs beginning in Texas. The company says a pizza ordered from a nearby shop can be loaded onto the drone and delivered within 5 minutes after the pizza is ready. Little Caesars says there is no additional price as the service is faster and cheaper than traditional delivery. I don't know how they're going to do that, but it looks like it's a pretty neat idea. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Friday, May the 1st. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.